Hello everyone, this is your weekly dose of Celeste. To start off, as I was editing the last episode, top Celeste player Isabelle managed to gold in the fan game contest map The Climate Crisis. But then shortly after, Vickyy also managed to get the same golden. Also, over that same period, Parrot Dash managed to get 3 summit entries in Final Goodbye Platinum on 3 back-to-back days. The first of these summit runs died in 1500 meters. But the last 2 summit entries were actually back-to-back PBs. From previous PB at flag 55, she reached flag 51 on the second day, and flag 45 on the third day. Funnily enough, that final PB was achieved on day 247. Did it really have to be that of all days? Like, come on. Anyway, off the old news, a new contest has started called the Intermediate Contest, where the goal is to make a map that is of intermediate difficulty while also meeting these other criteria that are laid out in the contest Google document, which you can find in the description of this video. The deadline for the submissions is August 20th at 10 PM EDT. So, if you plan to make a map for the contest, then I would strongly recommend starting soon. Also, the developers of LON just released version 0.8.0 a few days ago. One of the developers, Vexitos, released an update log that details the many changes made in this update, the most important being a new settings window that allows you to change keybinds for certain actions, or activate light mode for those insane people like staring at an interface as bright as the bloody sun, and also adding the option to hide and change the colour of triggers so you can focus on specific things such as camera work. The last major change is that you can now set a specific depth for decals following a recent Everest update that allowed for that functionality. These are just the main changes, but there are so many other smaller changes that were made that can be found on the GitHub repository, so check that out if you want to view the whole log.
That really is an unfortunate 3B death.
How do you heart Ultra?
In terms of new mod releases, the campaign Devil's Den by Tired and Wired was released. Devil's Den is a really unique map pack consisting of 6 maps that all follow a very different theme. The maps range from around advanced to grandmaster difficulty, so it can be quite difficult at times. But if you are a fan of that difficulty range, then I would strongly recommend you give this a go. Additionally, there was quite an interesting task only map release called the Task Speed Trials by Soxygen. The goal of the map is to reach a speed requirement in each room. This tests a task's optimization skills, forcing them to conserve every bit of speed possible. The map contains 20 rooms that involve extremely difficult speed tech that is said to be tasks only. However, that might not be the case for very long because some people, Splowen, are just way too good at beating tasks only maps. Anyway, the techniques used in the rooms can be very hard to figure out at times, so the map had provided hints for all the rooms on the Game Banana page, just in case the tasker couldn't figure out the technique required.
Hey, you forgot the silver.
Wait, I don't have the silver berry.
So I have no variants right now.
Uh-huh.
I can just go here if I want to. Yeah, I can just go up over here.
What the fuck?
The spikes do kill me though. Oh no, the spikes. I died.
Some quite insane things were accomplished last week too. For example, the old version of the map Old Site Task Side just got its first clear by Sasha. Now, hence the name, Old Site Task Side was originally intended to be a task-only map when it was first made around 5 years ago. The map contains some incredibly tight gameplay through to the end, where there is some insane speed chaining gameplay that gives the map a lot of its difficulty. This is an incredible accomplishment, and I can't wait to see how many more maps from the Task Sides campaign are humanly viable. Finally, for what feels like the 4th week in a row, Nins on stream managed to get the 2nd silver in Solar Purgatory 2 times in a row. Then, after they died, they did Abaddon first try, effectively doing Abaddon 3 times in a row. Then, shortly after, they made it to that same room with the golden again, and they died to the 3rd quarter of that room. At this rate, I just hope they don't get the golden the moment this video goes live. The last notable thing that happened is the judging for the Music Translation Contest 2 has finally finished and the results are very close to being released. So be sure to stick around as I will likely cover the winners of the contest. Join the Discord in the description if you want to submit your clips, and as always I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.